The urban legend that this time the universe is a giant simulation is based on physics. It is a very fascinating subject that has been discussed in fields such as philosophy, computer science, and so on. This hypothesis is that the universe we live in, not so-called reality, it's based on the idea that it's just a computer simulation created by a very advanced culture. One of the most famous proponents of this simulation hypothesis is Oxford University philosopher Nick Bostrom. In a paper he published in 2003, developing this idea philosophically and logically, it influenced many scientists and thinkers. So the origin of the simulation hypothesis, logical background, scientific basis, and I want to take a look at that impact and criticism together. Background of the simulation hypothesis. At the root of the simulation hypothesis is the evolution of computer technology and artificial intelligence that goes with it. Virtual reality. It's a rapid advance in simulation capabilities. The computers we use on a daily basis today are. This advanced technology boasts overwhelming processing power compared to older mainframes, enabling us to easily perform highly complex simulations. For example, in the game world, simulations based on real physical laws, possible, and players can operate in a virtual space while feeling reality. If this technology advances further, so much that virtual space and reality are indistinguishable, it is believed that advanced simulations can be produced. If we are now advancing computer technology like this, in the future, for more advanced civilizations to reproduce their own past history and the structure of the universe, it will become feasible to create highly detailed simulations, and an intelligent being could potentially emerge within such a simulation. In other words, the universe itself in which we live. It is the hypothesis that it is such an advanced simulation. Nick Bostrom's simulation hypothesis. Nick Bostrom. In his paper, he discusses the simulation hypothesis as follows. Central to his hypothesis, called the three-cross lemma of simulation, claim any of the following to be true. 1. Humanity will become extinct before it evolves to have advanced technology. A highly technological civilization. There is no historical simulation. The reality we inhabit, it is a simulation. In Bostrom's view, if it doesn't work overnight, in other words, mankind has developed advanced technology. Katsushi, assuming you do simulation, it suggests that the intricate universe we reside in might be a sophisticated simulation, often referred to as a simulation farm. Behind this argument is, if there are many simulations that support the simulation hypothesis, the logic is that we are likely to be one of them. I'm working. If we think that the universe expands infinitely, there are an almost infinite number of simulations. One possibility could be that our universe itself is a simulation. Scientific basis for simulation hypothesis. Some scientific basis is also proposed for the simulation hypothesis. These grounds, it is said to be based on the latest research in physics and computer science, which may suggest that the structure of reality is part of the simulation, computability, and the structure of the universe. From the point of view of physics, the hypothesis posits that the universe operates as a computable system, encapsulated by a digital computer, implying that our physical laws exist in a digital format. It means that it can be described in. For example, some phenomena in quantum mechanics are. It exhibits arithmetic behavior similar to computer simulations. If the universe is a simulation, its foundation is advanced. It could be a digital system built by Logram. Also, some physicists. The hypothesis suggests that the finite discrete structure of the universe could necessitate the simulation theory, echoing Planck-like principles. Minimum distance unit. Yeah, blank time. Minimum time unit. Etc. The idea that the fundamental physical limits of the universe are the equivalent of pixels in a simulation. In the simulation, not continuous space or time, because things are handled in finely divided units, is that reality may be similarly constructed. Uncertainty of the universe paint intellectual mechanics. The uncertainty principle of quantum mechanics and the observer effect are also. It is considered to be one element that dictates the simulation hypothesis. As per the uncertainty principle, accurately measuring both the position and momentum of a particle simultaneously is impossible. Additionally, quantum mechanics involves the observer effect, A mysterious phenomenon occurs in which the state of the particle is not determined until it is observed. These phenomena are as if simulation to save computational resources. These effects seem to obscure aspects of our reality. It can be associated with simulation hypotheses, adjustment of cosmic constants, and simulations. The physical constants and laws governing the universe are extremely intricate, with certain parameters finely tuned. It can be cited as an argument for the simulation hypothesis. For example, gravitational constant, high speed. If the mass of the basic elementary particles is slightly different, a universe capable of supporting life might never have emerged. Such fine-tuning phenomena are, it's like someone tweaked the simulation. It appears we designed it for intelligent life to emerge and evolve. In other words, our universe does not simply exist under fortunate conditions. The hypothesis arises that it may be part of a deliberately created simulation. 4. Philosophical aspects of the simulation hypothesis. The simulation hypothesis also includes many philosophical questions. One of them is, what is reality? This is a fundamental problem. Suppose our existence is within a simulated environment. How can the concept of reality be interpreted? The difference between real and virtual is, it depends significantly on our subjective experience. Even if it was a simulation, it genuinely feels real to our senses and consciousness. In addition, this hypothesis also affects questions of free will and ethics. When we think about how simulation hypotheses affect questions of free will and ethics, these considerations include the profound question of free will. If indeed we're in a simulation, does our true free will genuinely exist? Or is it that our actions and decisions, could it be merely a programmed outcome by the entities who designed the simulation? This question raises a philosophical debate. In general, free will is one's choice, means the ability to act under the simulation hypothesis. In a scenario where our choices have already been set, there is a possibility that you are following. If our behavior is a programmed response in a simulation, the concept of free will might not be real. However, countering this claim, the very concept of free will, there is also the view that if something is felt in the simulation, subjectively we can still feel free to choose. That is, even within the simulation. Given that we perceive ourselves as making choices, whether that sensation can be considered authentic is the focus of the free will debate. Ethical issues. The ethical ramifications of simulation theories are profound. For instance, if we are entities designed in a simulation, what ethics are there in our actions, with responsibility? Isn't it? If monitored by our realities corporation, how does the meaning of moral judgments and actions change? Furthermore, if an advanced civilization is simulating our universe, what moral responsibility should that civilization have to us? If they are our creators, can we say that our suffering and happiness are their responsibility? Such questions are, it compels us to reconsider our ethics. Furthermore, if the simulation hypothesis holds true, standards of ethical behavior may also change. For example, if our world is a simulation created for experiments and entertainment, we might need to evaluate how our actions influence the purpose of the simulation. Ethical behavior is the cornerstone of a simulation. Is it to obey? Or against the interests of beings outside the simulation? The challenge will be determining judgments based on their impact on you. Critique of the simulation hypothesis. There are also strong criticisms of the simulation hypothesis. One of the main criticisms is that the hypothesis itself cannot be disproven. As a scientific theory, to stand a theory is wrong. You must be able to demonstrate that you are. However, since there is basically no means to test simulation hypotheses, it is regarded as part of philosophical discourse, rather than scientific theory. Also, in order to create a simulation, enormous computational power is required to create simulations. There remains a question about the existence of such capabilities in reality. With current technology, creating a simulation as complex as our universe is close to impossible, and we don't know if it will be possible in the future. In addition, there is criticism from an ethical point of view. Is there an advanced civilization that allows intelligent beings in the simulation to suffer? The question arises, if such a civilization exists, it's possible their ethical frameworks and moral values deviate significantly from ours. To allow such simulations, this action might be deemed as an act of inhumanity. Conclusion: the simulation hypothesis is it is a hypothesis that has the potential to fundamentally shake our understanding of the universe and reality, technological evolution and physics. Discussion continues in the field of philosophy. If this hypothesis is true, our existence and free will, thoughts on ethics, it will also change a lot. However, at this time, it is difficult to illuminate and reflect on it, so it is often seen as just a philosophical measure. However, this hypothesis bridges modern science and philosophical thought. It continues to be a very interesting theme that prompts us to the top about the nature of reality. How did you like it? Thank you for subscribing to the channel.